AfterBuzzers, welcome back. It's another season of The Challenge, season 29, The Challenge, Invasion. We're talking about it right now with a special guest. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome in, everybody. We're here in Los Angeles, California, the AfterBuzz Studios. We got a challenge rookie.
First time here.
Talking about it.
I know.
We got a special guest here. Nika Rashaun has joined us.
The actual challenge rookie.
Exactly.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me on the show.
Thank you guys for joining us for another season of The Challenge, season 29. I'm your host. My name is Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Jenna Bussiere. You can catch me at Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
Hi guys, I'm Paulina Aguilar. You guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar.
All right. Hi guys, I'm Nika Rashaun, and you can find me at Nika Rashaun on Twitter and on Instagram.
And Nika was on season 32 of The Real World Bad Blood, which Paulina and I covered.
Yes, back to back MTV.
And I just want to start off by saying, this is the first thing when I met her tonight, was, did you watch Michael mispronounce your name?
And I did. You know what? But I told him that it happens a lot. You know, there's no hate there. It's the fact that he actually is willing to try to make sure he says it right this time. That's all that matters.
No, the
No.
difference was
so it's
trying
not
to
Annika.
fix it
Well, look,
the rest of the season, and you still made the same mistake.
And guess what? It's a new season. It's a new
season.
show.
So, you know what?
I took the challenge,
You're
and
right.
I got the challenge right.
The challenge
I'm-
was getting her name
I'm
right.
moving
So.
on.
You did.
I'm moving on. All right, well,
There
we got
we
a
go.
lot to talk about because tonight, on the season premiere of The Challenge, we had not just one, we had a double episode. Gimme Shelter, Skeletal Factor. Ladies, initial thoughts.
I mean, I thought it was crazy. I loved the spin this time around. We've seen Rivals 1, 2, 3. We've seen Battle of the Exes 1 and 2. So now this time, the rookies are in it. Well, not just rookies. It's also just anybody who hasn't won.
Right, we started with 8. We got 18 cast
challenge, yes.
mates right now. No one has won. Some are rookies, some are second years, all the way to fifth year. Shane in his 5th season of the challenge, and so a completely new idea. Paulina, thoughts?
I always love it just for the drama, but because we have a real life player in the studio, I want to know what you thought of, versus seeing it versus being there, meeting everybody.
You know, it's so funny because when I did the Real World, clearly I'm not like, the craziest person in the world. My craziest is more so like a happy, positive coffee high. So, clearly MTV's looking for more of the I want to show my naked body and I want to cut people and fight. So that's not really my spin. So that's why a lot of people didn't see me that much during the Real World season. For the challenge, it definitely was more about, what can you bring to the table. So I definitely came onto the challenge hoping to show more of a presence. So.
And you certainly showed a presence right when you arrived in Thailand. Actually, so we want to know what happened at the start.
This is great.
Honestly, I don't even know what happened, but I kind of knew that was going to end up showing because I was on the boat, I was the last one, and I actually blame every single guy on that cast because a real gentleman, I'm the tiniest girl. I literally am like 5'3". All the dudes could have actually lifted me up out of the boat and helped me, but everybody was on the beach, but everyone wanted to turn around when I kind of jumped off the boat, thought I was okay, but then my bag was so heavy it kind of knocked over my head, and then the water knocked me with that. So that was not the most interesting entrance.
And MTV did you so dirty with that because they show your interview and you're like, people are going to underestimate me. I got fight in me. I'm athletic. And then what they decide to do is show you
but
on
you know what?
repeat falling off a boat before any challenge even starts.
I'm not even going to say they did me dirty. I'm going to say they're actually building up a storyline. So
There you
keep
go.
on watching when it comes to
Is that a
that.
spoiler?
Oh,
do
tease.
we-
That's okay.
We got a tease. Might be a spoiler, but we got
I may be
something.
clumsy and I may be small, but I'm not a quitter.
fighter.
I'm definitely a fighter. So you're
There
gonna
you
see
go.
that.
And there was definitely, it felt like some quitters on tonight's episode. We'll get to that.
What?
When you watched the episode and you saw the way that you were portrayed, at least the boat, did it hurt Splashdown? Did you feel like embarrassed? What was that like?
Let her relive it again.
Right?
Girl,
Tell us more.
start the show.
I mean, to be honest with you, was it embarrassing? No, I don't get really embarrassed by much because you actually have to care about what people think to really get embarrassed, and I think that was kind of my persona on the Real World. I did a lot of wacky, crazy things, and I think people like the fact that I can brush it off and I can laugh at myself, and that's why I usually end up being friends with the majority majority of the cast of wherever, whatever show I'm on. Same thing with, the challenge, which is why I'm sure that everyone was like, why wasn't Nika the first one nominated? Because I actually am friends with people. So that was my first saving grace.
Okay.
Well, speaking of the real, I have a question. Like, how's your relationship with Will and everybody else from? I got that look. And everybody else, after the show.
I wish I could sit here and say, we had, a nice close knit wolf pack type of situation like Werewolf Skeletons like you saw in the challenge, but unfortunately people definitely drifted apart. Peter and Jen are still together, but they're doing their own thing. Me and Jordan are just as close as we were in the house, and me and Theo, we talk from time to time. Wish we talked more, and me and Lana, but that's really it. Everyone else kind of goes their separate ways. I think we're still pretty much cordial. I mean, I talk to people on social media, but for the most part, everyone kind of is doing their own thing. It was a big cast, and I think that's what made it harder to stay close with everyone.
It was a big cast, too big a cast. But okay, that's the real world. Talking about the challenge, we got your first thoughts, and so season 29, we've got 18 castmates right now. They tell us 4 are going to be in the final. TJ's back to be our host. They say this is going to be the hardest challenge ever. So I ask you, before we get into it, do you agree that this is going to be the hardest challenge ever, or do you think they're just pumping it up?
I mean, we see this every year. This changes everything in the promo. The hardest season, the hardest finale. So obviously we have to see how the episodes go. But right off the bat, you're living in a junk on a beach now. That's a whole new twist. That's something we've never seen before. It looks hard enough in itself. So, between the challenges and the drama and getting in fights, you're already living in like the worst living conditions that we've seen so far. So I'm sure that makes it one of the hardest.
I mean, I can't say that it is like, the hardest challenge because this was my first one. But I can definitely say living situation wise, that definitely affects your, your mental psyche and the way you play the game. So if that has anything to do with how hard the challenges are, yes, we had the hardest challenge living situation. That was horrible. We'll never do it again.
And Nika, did you make it to the Oasis?
I cannot tell you that. You're going to have to check it out and see.
Right into it.
We're going to keep trying.
That's okay. You can keep trying. I'm always on my P's and Q's.
Do you think that this is going to be the hardest challenge ever?
You don't know until you see it. I mean, you really don't.
So one of the things about this season that they say is different is that you start off at the TP or basically living outside in the shelter, and the only way that you can make it to a house, which they say is the nicest house, they call it the Oasis, it's an estate, is by either winning a challenge or winning an elimination. So that will be an interesting dynamic to this season. Do you think that Nika wins a challenge or elimination?
I know she's going to go to elimination because you're a rookie. Yeah. And that's just the rule.
Is she going to win it?
See, she just confirmed. I got the first spool
right there. Actually, this is called the Nika nod. So when I'm listening with intent, I nod.
Hashtag the Nika nod. Okay.
You don't start the drama, but you're listening. And
I'm always politically correct.
You're on the outside, but you know what's going on.
Oh, yeah,
okay, so we'll see. That's a good trait.
All right, so we got so much to talk about. We have so many castmates. It's hard to go through every single one right away, but a couple I want to touch on. First, what did you think of hearing about Bruno? He's a rookie in tonight's episode and this season, and he's homeless. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody has a different situation. Nobody knows what they're actually going through back at home, and to come on television and to talk about that and to express yourself in that way, it's hard, and not everybody is going to accept it, or some people just don't care, So, I mean, I give him props for that. I mean, I hope he's doing well, and I hope he put his best foot forward in making a better situation for himself.
What did you kind of get from him, meeting him, the original vibe when you guys first got on the
and I told him, I'm very honest with my first impressions of people, and I tell them what I think of them, especially when I do end up eventually becoming friends with them. But I told him I thought he was kind of, hands off, kind of seemed very to himself, only talked to the people that he knew, and that was honestly only within like the first 6 hours. But within that 6 hours, he definitely opened up. We were traveling from, the United States all the way to Thailand. So we were all traveling with each other in close-knit quarters for over 24 hours. So, but by the time the end of the trip came, I did get to know him, and I was like, wow, he's a really nice guy. He definitely has his things, but who doesn't? And I wish him the best, and we still talk to this day. So Bruno's one of my favorite people.
So hopefully that Bruno's doing all right, and hopefully he's got shelter and home.
Yes, but the one thing that I do not like is that he quit.
Yeah.
And I've said this every
After
single
hyping
challenge.
him out.
I have a similar whole perspective with TJ when it's quitters. You don't.
No quitters.
I'm sorry. And once you do that, I'm done.
hard to come-
even the last season, I forgot who it was when they jumped out of the plane. They refused to do it. Nope.
It's hard to come back.
Yes,
Can't forget
and
Nate,
they go home.
It's hard to come back from being a quitter, especially when it's not that hard of a task to quit on stuff like that.
He hyped himself up so high. Also, that's the
they
thing.
all
He's
do.
like, I'm not quitting. I came here to win. First thing he does is, I can't finish this. Let me walk off.
Someone else that hyped themselves up was Nelson. Says he wants it the most, and I want to get your take. But before we do that, I want to tell you guys thank you for joining us in the live chat all night. If you have questions, please save them. I'll try to go to you and get some questions from the live chat towards the end of the program, maybe in 20 minutes. So thank you guys. I see you guys. I appreciate you all joining us. We get it that you're here to see Nika. So speaking of Nelson, though, he says he wants it the most. He's very verbal in tonight's episode. Initial thoughts on Nelson's gameplay.
If you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk.
Did he walk the walk tonight?
I mean, he got everybody to go against Toni.
That's gonna have to be something we watch, right, Toni?
I need to
Nelson?
see him in action. The way that as much crap as Kayla was talking, and she came in and she was a beast. She's little, she's scrawny, she's tall. I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You guys. I don't know.
I'm known as like the smallest person on the cast. So,
And I'm like the same height as you.
You know-
So I'm assuming, she's got more. She looks very, very, very skinny, but she's tall, but she's strong. So I mean, for her to back that up and come into the house, I got to give her props. So
I think that's really what it's all about the challenge. It's like whether you win or you lose. If you're gonna say something, at least back it up. And if you're not gonna win, at least try.
And with Nelson, you know what? You can persuade people. You can lie to people to get someone to do your dirty work. But I need to see you in action, or else I have no idea.
So right now, if I asked you, are you Team Nelson or Team Toni? Which team you?
In this case, right now, probably Team Toni.
What about you, Jenna?
I feel like it's hard for me to be Team Toni because I've disliked him so much in past challenges, but it makes it hard. He makes it hard to dislike him in this one. He's talking about his babies. He's sobered up. He didn't get crazy. He refrained from fighting like he has in the past seasons. But I feel like I'm so tainted from disliking him in past seasons that I'm like, I can't really be Team Toni.
So you're Team Nelson.
But I don't know about that either.
Yeah, no, you have to
You have to be the first episode. I can't.
So we're gonna call you
put
Sylvia
a target
now.
on my back, guys. I can't put a target on my back.
Sylvia, stuck in the middle.
What about Nika? Team Toni, Team Nelson?
You know what?
She was there. You got the
the
real
funny thing
story.
is, like being there, clearly I was Team Nelson, and that
Right.
was because I felt as though if I did say anything other than Tony's name, it was Theo that was going in, and Theo was my,
Had your
my
boys
best
back.
friend. So honestly, I would have thrown any one of those people in to make sure Theo was not going to go in.
Did
So,
you and Theo have a pact coming into this from being on the same show?
I think everyone assumed that we had an alliance, but honestly, it was just friendship, and it was unspoken. We never even said those words. It was just something that was there. I had his back, and he had my back. So
One question about you and Theo, different being on the challenge and being in the house on the Real World, was your relationship with Theo different? Was Theo a different person on the different show, or do you feel like it was the same, you're just in a different kind of setting?
I think that it was generally the same, but we definitely had a lot stronger of a friendship once we went through that experience, because we only knew each other at the end of the day. And also, all those people have been on TV before, and they've seen themselves. So we really were coming in as like the rookies, like the baby of the rookies. So, it definitely was nice to know that the person that I was going on the challenge with was one of the people I was closest with in the house. And there were definitely things that he carried that I couldn't, which was like the height and the strength. But I think that there were things that I carried, which were like, the ability to do puzzles and, smart and being social. So when he kind of was going didn't want to be that social, I kind of played that game, so we kind of had each other's back. So we kind of had a really good force field going on.
So Nika's gonna win a puzzle challenge.
Didn't say that, but
She's good at puzzles, everyone.
I definitely can beat a few people in the puzzle.
There we go.
Shout out to Sky Patterson. There are no best friends in the challenge, Anika.
That's sad. But the funny thing is that I met
yourself.
Theo in the real world, so we were already friends before that.
Boom. All right, that's Anika dropping it hot. All right, now one of the things that we got immediately was the flirtation and the attraction that both Corey and Kayla had for each other. How do you feel about that? Do you think you should be trying to get involved in that immediately, or do you frown upon that? I think Paulina's shaking her head.
No, you don't. And of course, we've seen Corey, flirt his way with the ladies in the past seasons. But everyone's human. It's gonna happen. You've got no social media. You've got no, computer. You've got no phone. No.
But you got
nothing.
cameras on you.
But
Catching you do
at
stuff.
times
It's not like
and
you
make
can.
out
Yeah,
everywhere.
it is what it is.
But I feel like right away is when they are going to have the flirtations because they haven't done any challenges or eliminations yet. So it's like, why not have fun, drink, get your hookups in now? I don't know. I feel like that might be what their mindset is.
Are you a big flirt?
Even though.
You know, the thing about that is, I know everyone's like, why don't you ever mess with anyone like on these shows? Because that's not my thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna I have my own fun, you know, away from MTV where people can't stalk, you know, and see everything I'm doing and like these tweets and screenshot this and that. So I'm more of a private person when it comes to my personal life. But, you know, to each his own. If Corey and Kayla wanted to get busy on the challenge, you know, and the dirtiness and the grime, you know, when it felt like everybody was smelly, dirty, gross, and didn't look like they bathed, then hey,
right?
That's their thing.
Like,
but
yes,
for me, I'd rather have everyone, the person I'm about to like be intimate with, look clean as well as myself. But not everybody has those standards.
It gets hot in the jungle.
And speaking of dirt, on tonight's episode, there was a point where I caught Nika talking about how it was unreal how dirty you were. I want to know, how dirty really were you? What'd you feel like in the moment?
To be honest with you, if I could think of, I have nightmares sometimes, like nightmares. Of that living situation. There were dogs. Their ears were like falling off. They literally, these were not just cute dogs. These were infected.
Oh my God, we didn't see any dogs. I missed that.
There's one shot of a dog, but mind you, these dogs were always walking around. They had fleas. They were fighting.
That makes me sad.
No, people always were breaking out in rashes. It was not a vacation. It was definitely, it was disgusting.
And how many days were you in that living situation before you had to do a competition? Because I feel like it seemed like we had like a half hour of you guys just living there before there was even an event.
You're gonna see a lot more episodes of people living there. Until everyone gets out of the Oasis, or I'm sorry, until everyone finds a way to get to the Oasis, everyone stays in the shelter.
So you talked about how dirty you were, and I want to talk about the first challenge. They called it the over-under. And the premise is that whoever comes in last for the guys and girls is going to have to go to the elimination. Whoever wins is going to be secure a spot in the Oasis. So you obviously didn't come in first. You didn't come in last. Give us your take on the actual challenge outside of watching it. You had to go over with the mud, then go under. I mean, how difficult was it? Did it look more difficult on the TV than it was, or was it even harder than it looked?
It honestly looked easier. It was so
easier,
hard.
okay.
It was actually what people don't understand is this is not regular dirt. This is like that clay dirt. So when you're trying to even like use your hands to try to scrape the mud like clay, it's breaking all of the skin underneath your nails. So like everyone's fingers are like, you know, bleeding, and like their nails are breaking, and then everyone's backs are getting like scratched up because we're trying to go underneath like this wall that has like, you know, it's wood, so people are like their skin's getting scratched up, and then also everyone's exhausted, and it takes a lot of like, you know, strength and a lot of athletic ability to keep your endurance high. So a lot of people were feeling dizzy. Ashley clearly, you know, threw up. But
almost didn't make it to the end line because she wanted to throw up before. They're like, come on, cross the line. Thank you.
I felt like I was gonna throw up.
Ashley was the first over, and then said, you know, I'm over. Deuces to you guys. I'm working on my own. What did you think of that, Nika?
You know what? The thing is I kind of didn't expect anyone to help me in the first challenge at all. So I kind of expected to be the underdog the whole time, and everyone to look at me at a target because I was the smallest person, assumed, you know, weakest, smallest, So, I mean, I kind of assumed I was the last female over the wall. I came in 4th place. So, clearly, out of like 8 girls or however, we're 9.
So basically you're saying you're average. Right in the middle.
No, I think a little bit above average because I think Kayla came in about the average number, but you know, I definitely was happy that I proved my place in the first challenge.
Yeah. What did you do to get undirty?
Well, a lot of people, they decided they wanted to, you know, jump into the ocean, but I was not about that life. So, we had these makeshift showers that were just like stationed outside, and we just had to just slowly and surely just get clean day after day. You know, the white people just, you know, they got tan, so it was nice.
White people.
Yeah, they loved it. They were like, wow, like, you know, like,
I would love that.
Yeah, they loved it. They were getting tan and everything like that.
Did you just say it took you days to get clean?
It literally took like 2 days.
Really?
Yeah, because it stains your skin. It stains. That's why the women were loving it. They're like,
hey, we gotta get some color how we can get it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great on them, honestly.
Paulina, what was your take on Ashley's move where she goes over first and then kind of just like, I'm off?
I'm not surprised. This is what people do the challenge for. You have to make the decision of where you're going to pull yourself apart, What are you going to go on your own? How long are you going to stay in an alliance for? That's how Johnny wins. He plays everybody. That's how you got to win. I mean, I'm not surprised. She's been around.
So for the challenge, the first challenge, Nika, she came in fourth. Our winners for the girls was Nicole. Dario won for the guys, and then our losers were Bruno and Marie, who both kind of gave up, which was sad to see at the start. I mean, come on. You're there to compete.
Quitters.
Meanwhile,
I
Marie's-
can't stand them.
Nelson gets in his beef with Toni, but one thing that caught my attention was Nelson talking about how he had practiced beforehand downloading apps, puzzles and stuff.
Talk about a millennial or even this generation.
Well, that-
Has he watched
dedication. He's
the
definitely
challenge?
prepared.
That
Does he
leads
know
me
you're
to
doing
you,
our phones?
Anika, did you download anything or practice beforehand?
I did not download anything. I did not practice beforehand, but I did, do a lot of like physical, like I did try to get in shape. But I mean, I only had but so much time. I mean, I just came off the real world.
How much
so
time
people,
did you have?
I mean, honestly, it was a few months. So people got to cut me some slack here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not only am I the tiniest, but I didn't even have time to like. They show them on here like having like months of like training CrossFit. Like, I literally got home was still getting used to being outside around normal people without a camera. So, it was definitely a little bit harder for me.
And a lot of rookies do go into it with less training than the vets because they know, like you said, Johnny and Karamir, they literally train all year for this. And a lot of rookies come in and they learn quickly. They're like, oh, well, I should have probably
Well, because they don't
worked out a little
know.
bit
Cara
more.
Maria and those people, they've
And
done
they're
it
jacked,
1,000
yeah.
times, so they know what to train
livelihood.
for.
So after the challenge, we find our winners. We know half of the people going into the elimination. Then it comes back to the house, and basically outside of Kayla and Corey and their flirtation and their kissing that's kind of in the dark, we basically see that everyone's now got to choose who they're going to choose from. Guys are going to pick a girl, girls are going to pick a guy, who's going to match up with the loser in elimination. So what was that like, and what was your thought process, Nika, when you were deciding who to choose from the guys?
I mean, honestly, it was kind of easy. There was no point in me choosing anyone other than Toni because it was either Toni or Theo.
Obviously,
Why
you
the
weren't going to
heck
take
would
Theo.
I pick Theo? So, it was kind of like, oh, easy Toni. Have no issue with Toni. I actually really like him. Think he's a very nice guy.
Give us a glimpse, though, before we see the vote. Do you guys have a meeting as all the girls? Like, give us a little behind the scenes here.
I mean, we all definitely took in consideration. We had no idea how the votes were going to happen. So we didn't know if it was going to be a house vote. We didn't know if all the girls are voting, a girl. So it's kind of like with the alliances you saw that started breaking into two separate groups, we were all just having conversation like, if it is the house vote, we're voting this. If it is all girls, we're voting this guy. If it is all girls, we're voting this girl. So we kind of had scenarios planned out. So when they told us what the deal was, we were like, we're ready. Sylvia clearly was the only one that wasn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know it worked for your alliance that Sylvia voted in her own skeleton real-world castmate, Toni,
Yes.
but do you think that that's right from a friendship standpoint?
I can't
that's
speak
okay.
on their friendship just because I don't know them to that extent. So I don't think it's really my place to. But I always kind of looked at it as, the way Corey kind of voted in Kayla, even though he knew that there was, there was no way she would not be voted in. You kind of do it for the precedence of that's still someone I bang with. So same thing. I mean, I definitely feel like Sylvia made the right choice for me at the time. But if I was Sylvia, I'm not a person who gets fazed by peer pressure. I don't care who you are. So if I was the only one saying, not Theo, I would have been the only person saying not Theo.
Nice.
And it definitely seemed from the editing and the footage that you were really there to try to be like, Sylvia, do this.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
you're supportive. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, of course. It worked in my favor. We needed her on our side. We needed her on our numbers. And to be 100% honest with you, on a personal level, I don't think that they were really putting her in a situation where she felt like she owed them that much. So if I really was giving my real advice, I would have said, they're not really treating you like that much of a friend for you to really be giving them this much, out of your game anyway. Because how do you know they're not going to turn on you? They weren't.
I mean, they did.
So I didn't like how quick they turned on her after. So it's kind of like if they can turn on you this quick after. Really,
Yeah.
was your decision really that wrong?
So,
Well, the thing is, I think Sylvia would have been damned either way.
Exactly.
Either
so choose
Nelson
the way
was going to be
that
mad at
honestly
her,
helps
or Toni would have been mad at her.
And she had so much pressure on her. Literally, everybody's standing behind her. Go this
Yeah,
way,
I
go
was in
that
her
way.
ear, I
She's
can't
already
lie.
in the most impressionable stage in this game because she's a rookie, and now everybody's whispering in her ear. She cracks. She has to learn,
and
she has to
it
go
was
through
clear
this.
she was questioning what to do because it took her forever to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, she did end up picking Toni, her friend from past seasons. The girls chose Toni 5-3 over Theo. Toni's going to match up with Bruno in the first elimination for the guys. On the flip side, the guys went with Kayla over Sylvia 7-1, and so that set up an elimination between Kayla and Marie. Before we get to the elimination, I want to talk to you guys about Nicole. So before we get to elimination, we just see a lot of Nicole being kind of ruthless. She tells Sylvia that she hopes that she cries every day of her life. And amongst other things she said, where do we stand on Nicole?
I feel like that was just a funny exchange, like a sister relationship. You don't mean what you're saying, but you're so mad at that other person, you're just gonna get so petty with it. Like, well, I hope your girlfriend breaks up with you. Oh, that's right, she already did. Like, I don't think they mean it because they're such close friends, but in that situation, they're so mad at each other, you just pull out all the cards. There's nothing
Paulina, your take?
left.
I've always liked Nicole since when I saw her, and you're right as far as you're in the moment, so all of your emotions are just unleashing and you get mad, but it's like you throw some dumb things under, you know, you say mean things to
like
them,
you
like
hit below
really,
the
like I
belt.
want, not even below the belt, like I want you to cry every day. Okay,
Yeah, it was so
is that all
funny,
you
yeah.
have? No, talk about the game, talk about friendship, talk about, you know, be a little, I don't know, I guess say better things. Have a better argument.
They definitely
better
had,
argument.
like, the Skeletons crew, they definitely had, you know, issues outside of the challenge, personally with their friendships that I think that they were trying to work out. And then, you know, they were all just kind of, they didn't have a chance to, I guess, fix those issues, and then they were all thrown in the challenge together. So you can kind of see that they were going through their own, you know, I can't even imagine how it would be if all the people from my season were on the challenge.
I don't know.
It would just be crazy.
The thing is with Nicole, she was so vocal about, you know, Sylvia and her decision and turn on her and all that. My whole thing is like, as long as you have a legitimate reason of why you voted somebody in, then I will respect it. Why am I going to give you crap for something that you believe in? That led you to a certain decision. I wouldn't give you crap for not saying Theo, no matter what. Like, if that's your decision, that's your decision.
It was about
Respect
loyalty
it.
to her,
Respect
which I
it.
get. Long Island
then
girl, you
guess
could
what?
tell by her accent.
If she doesn't want to be loyal, then she doesn't have to be loyal to her.
One thing that is for sure is that Nicole has quite the accent and has some hilarity as a character on the show. All right, so we get to the elimination, and one thing that was interesting is that the elimination this time was going to be alone. So basically, the rest of the cast doesn't get to be there watching, cheering, hooting, hollering, and all that. Nika, what was your thought about that? Did you know before going on the show that was going to be the scenario? Did they tell you like right beforehand? When did you learn that you weren't actually going to get to watch the elimination?
Well, one thing I learned quick about the challenge is that you never can be prepared for anything.
Okay.
And with that being said, when they said that we were not going to go see the elimination, I was just like, that really sucks, because that I'm a person, I'm very strategic. So I'm like, okay, so like if this was my situation, I'm small, but I could like try to like go through their legs or something, you know? So I would try to like look at
You
other...
want to learn from watching?
Exactly, but we couldn't, you know? And I think we just had to, they wanted our reactions of whoever came back.
Was that the would you say that would the consensus feeling amongst the group that was
Everybody was bummed out.
Was bummed out. They
And I
wanted to be
think
there.
there's a big thing about morale too. When you have people competing, and usually when you do see like the way the challenge works, people are competing, you have, you know, people cheering you on, or they're booing, they're like, you know, yelling against you. So I think they did not want that to like actually affect it, because that was the whole point. They didn't want other, you know, outside things to affect the actual game. Who is the better competitor?
Yeah.
So they wanted to make that clear.
Interesting point. So they called tonight's elimination the first one of season 29 of the challenge, In the Trenches. The idea is that you have to retrieve 10 sandbags first before the other partner, and you're basically like running at each other and hitting each other. It's kind of comical in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot. I was laughing watching. I don't know if you guys were. But first the girls went. It was Kayla and Marie, and Kayla kind of dominates Marie. I wish that MTV would give us maybe a timer on the screen so we could see how long they actually were competing against each other. Was it 30 seconds? Was it 5 minutes? Who knows? Because we
I'm
just
pretty sure it was like hours.
see them.
Right, yeah.
It was interesting. I don't know. But Kayla wins over Marie. Marie even calls herself a sore loser almost upon going home. She's sad that she goes home. She says she hopes to be back. I'm not sure we agree with her. But let's talk about that. What were your thoughts about the girls competing?
It was hard watching. I always try and like to put myself in their shoes and figure out my strategy. And I feel like I'd almost just turn into Gumby or something, try and sneak through. Well, you have to get them fatigued. You have to hit them and you know, get them tired. That's the way to win the game. But it just seemed like it was a hard way to find a strategy to win that game, just running back and forth with sandbags. I don't know. It was interesting.
Paulina, your strategy.
I would have ran up the little hill on the side and just snuck my way through. Like, that's what I...
She's like, I just want to go
Because the thing is, like, at first I thought they each had, like, 10 bags. I didn't know that no matter how many times you go back and forth, there's still going to be bags on the other side. So it's all about, like, just being the
Endurance.
fastest one. Yeah, exactly. Keep that up. So, I mean, I'm not strong. I can't not take Laura out in a hit or anything, or Marie. She's too tall for me. I mean, you're my size, so we can be like, all right, I can see that.
Wow.
Let's go. I can see
There's
that.
a challenge on the
I
show.
can see that. Yeah, I can see
Stop
that.
talking, let's
no,
see.
but that's more fair. So, I mean, I probably would have, depending on who I was with, just gone up on the side and avoid getting a bloody nose.
I mean, honestly, like I can't even say what I would have done because your mindset there is so different. You're like in a whole completely different world. You feel like honestly, I still think I was not even on the challenge. I think it's not even real. Like it was fake. But, to be honest with you, I don't even know what my tactic would be. It would probably be to just try to run around the person because my best bet is, hey, you're not going to really continue to like make it if you keep on hitting this other person. So try to run past this person. Be the fast one, not like the stronger one. So
Who would you have wanted to go against in that challenge?
you know what? When it comes to me, I really don't care. I just want to win. So I don't really have like my eyes on anybody or want to take out like
but
the
who do
strong.
you have the best chance of? I mean, are you going to see Marie?
See, the thing is like I would not. The thing is, nobody was my size, so I don't think it would be fair physically, regardless, size-wise. But I also don't know like the the agility and like the strength of everybody. So that really only means but so much. But I mean, I don't know. I would probably want to go against the toughest competitor because for me, it's kind of like, why am I going to go against the weakest person just to skate by? I'm eventually going to go past the strongest competitor anyway.
Yeah.
So why not beat them now? See if I can beat them and
Give you
past
the
it.
experience
Exactly.
too. Yeah.
On the flip side, for the guys who went second, it's Toni versus Bruno. I want to get your thoughts on that, but before, I just want to let you guys know in the live chat, we got a couple minutes for a couple questions. So while we're answering now, if you want to let us know in the live chat, I'll take a couple questions from you guys. We can ask Nika if you have any. But tell us the thoughts about Toni versus Bruno. It seemed like a mismatch from the start. I honestly was thinking Toni was going to dominate, and he basically did. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, we saw Bruno just not perform to the level that he was talking himself up to performing at. And also, I thought it was funny that Toni went in saying, man, I hate to go against my brother. This guy's my brother. And Bruno's like, me and Toni, we kind of get along now. So that was hard. I was like, wait, so what's happening here? So I thought it was a funny dynamic to see. I thought it was going to be more of a matchup between the two, but Toni just won easily. So it was a
I
little
expected
disappointing.
Toni just because he's done this before, but Bruno, once he quit, I don't want to see you on the challenge at all. I don't want to see you. Don't get beat. Because if you're gonna quit here,
What about
if you're gonna quit here,
redemption?
nah. No, I'm more about redemption if you lose
Yeah.
and do a big loss and you come back and you work harder, But if you're gonna quit, how do I know as my teammate in the future you're gonna quit on me? I don't want to deal with that. Nope. No thanks.
That's instability.
So, in looking at some of the questions in the live chat throughout this evening, one for you, Nika, is how long did you last?
Very, very clever. You're gonna have to keep on watching to find out.
Right.
Nice tease.
Yeah.
Give us a good preview then of what's going to happen this season that you can tell us.
What I can tell you is you're definitely going to see a lot of hookups, which you can clearly tell in a lot of the trailers. A lot more arguments, a lot more fights. But I feel like you're going to see people do a lot. I know people say, yes, challenges every season are crazier and crazier, but this challenge was crazy. You're going to see some crazy challenges that you're really going to wonder, like, wow, like, is this safe? So, just that's my main thing. Just keep on
Perfect.
watching it. You're going to see
We
a lot
love
of
that.
surprises, and you're going to see, a lot of new faces get pretty far, so that's cool.
Nice, good.
Sounds like maybe that was you, Nika.
she's going to the
One
finals.
last question, and shout out to you, Joseph Bosa, for asking it. It's for you. Were there any cast members when you finally actually got on the challenge that you were shocked to have to compete against or see?
No, honestly, I don't really look at it as like I'm not a fan, so I kind of look at it as, oh, okay, so these are now like my coworkers, so like I guess I saw you on TV once, and now I'm working with you, so cool. And it actually ended up being a really good experience. I think that a lot of people assumed that it would be kind of like going to a den full of lions, but people were actually, very welcoming, and I think it's kind of like if you hold your own, you show that you can, regardless of your size, people will respect you, and I always put that presence up forward when I meet somebody.
What about Johnny Bananas? Was he nice in the house at all? Like, was he?
I honestly cannot speak on anything other than the fact that he is, a strong competitor, and, good for him.
You can be mean.
I like it. And so speaking of that,
Try.
Tell
Gosh
us.
darn it.
clearly we know that the name, the challenge invasion, means we're going to get an invasion of former champs.
Yes.
And we saw
Can't
that
wait for
throughout tonight's double episode where they were on their champ cam, which was a cool idea, actually.
I liked that.
See them training, working out, getting ready to be a part of this season's The Challenge. I want to get to predictions now, and I want to get predictions from not only you and you, Paulina, but during predictions, if you could tell us maybe if you have anything to promote, what's going on with you now that the challenge is over, let us know that.
Well, yes, now that the challenge is over, I am working on my own brand, AskNika.com. It's actually a lifestyle brand that I've been working on for years now, but I'm trying to turn it into something a lot larger. So lifestyle topics, celebrity interviews, I cook, I do a lot of crazy things. So basically just trying to make more of my brand and get myself out there. I'm trying to be the next Oprah/Ellen.
Yeah. So AskNika.com.
AskNika.com.
And we can follow you on social media, on Twitter and everything like that.
You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at Nika Rashaun, and my other platform, which is at Ask-A-Nika TV.
Very cool. So we can look for that. If you guys are Nika fans, definitely follow that. Now let's do some predictions.
Okay. Well, you want to go? You want me to go first?
You know what they say? My mom raised me right. She said ladies first.
What a gentleman. Predictions. I'm going Vets champs all the way. I think, well, my heart is saying CT as the crowned winner, but I think Bananas is probably going to pull through again because he's, 6 now? So
Six-time
make
champion.
it
So you're
7 in a
saying he's
row.
gonna be the
He's
seven-time
not doing
champion?
anything better, so
Okay.
let's go Bananas again. And then I think toss it between Laurel and Cara Maria. So I'm sitting on the fence between those two right now, but those are my top two.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna have to
Nika.
go. No, I'm gonna go with Bananas. I don't see the rookies. No offense. I see a couple going into the Oasis because some of them are really good. I don't think a lot of them are gonna last. Definitely the champs. I mean, they live for this stuff. I mean, Bananas bought a house, doing these for years. So I mean, I can't really knock that. He's good. He knows how to play the game. I'm really excited for Zach to be back, only because he's got so much drama with Ashley and Jenna. I want Jenna to win. She's so good in these challenges. She has not won yet, and I think she deserves it.
And Jenna is in her 4th season of the challenge now, and that's part of my prediction because I'm predicting that this season's challenge winners are going to be Corey and Jenna. I feel good about that. I know they're both not champs before. I think this is going to be the season for both of them. Also, I'd say that Sylvia is in major trouble. Those are the predictions here from
What
the
are
challenge.
your predictions?
Do you have predictions that you can give, Nika?
She knows.
My only predictions is, champs were once challengers, which means that any of those challengers/rookies can eventually become champs.
That's absolutely true. And it does look like we have a great cast. We got a lot of people, so it's going to take some time, more episodes to break it down, where we've got a little bit less going on. But stick with us all season. Thanks so much for joining us for the season debut of season 29 of The Challenge Invasion. You can catch us next week again. And I am your lead host. My name is Michael Rippe. Catch me on social media at Mike Rips. Where can they find you?
I am Jenna Bussiere. You can catch me at Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar.
You can find me at Nika Rashaun, at Nika Rashaun, on my Instagram and my Twitter.
And thank you so much for stopping by with us
thanks,
tonight,
Nika.
Thank you very much for having me. You guys are very, very funny and very, very witty.
Can't wait to see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.